while you are pursuing that entrepreneurship, make sure to know who you are or start learning who you are so that you can be true to yourself. Because there's going to be a lot of times where people are telling you that you can't do something. So knowing who you are, having a support system around you to help to remind you of who you are and your capabilities and your diligence is definitely going to help keep the business going.
Welcome to Beating the Odds, the podcast about successful minority businesses that will inspire, educate, and inform you. Your host is Mike Dewey, entrepreneur and founder of Hidden Star, a 501c3 nonprofit that has helped hundreds of minority entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses. Discover and celebrate minority business success with Beating the Odds.
Hi, and welcome to Beating the Odds. Today's guest is Valencia Callens Neptune. Valencia, how are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on and sharing our story with all of our listeners, and I'm sure they'll find it fascinating. So can you, to get started here, can you tell us a little bit about you and your childhood and where you grew up and went to school and all that?
Well, so I am originally from Montgomery, Alabama, and I am a sister, younger sister. I have one older brother. And so, we grew up in the South. I've always been, someone that was in creative fields. I always loved to sing and dance and all those things. My mom says, I came out of the womb singing, but I don't know about that. I attended, performing arts schools, and, that's where I kind of found my love for music and learned the skills that I have today. So I'm a big advocate for family. I love my family, and that's a little bit about me. I also once I kind of finished high school and all of that, I went on to get my bachelor's in voice and performance at UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham, and then received my master's in music from the University of South Carolina.
Wow, that's awesome. And can you give us a brief description of your business?
Yes. So, as I mentioned, I love music, and I've always been in music, and so I have a business called So Am I Worthy, and it is an indie record label and artist development company that sets out to highlight and uplift women singer-songwriters with a strong focus on Black, Indigenous women of color.
So it sounds like your whole life, singing and dancing, coming out of the womb, kind of led all roads led you to where you are right now with your own record label, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, when you were a kid, did you ever think you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or was there somebody in your family that was a business owner, an entrepreneur, or no?
Well, so as a kid, I don't necessarily know I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I did see my dad try to have his own business. He is a truck driver, and so he wanted to have his own business doing that. So I saw that. I think what really led me to wanting to have my own business was learning more about the freedom that comes with entrepreneurship. And, I really wanted to create, my own legacy. And, I'm a millennial, and, we're definitely looking to, create, something great and really, do something different that provides freedom and overall, like, holistic wellness. So.
Got it. So what was your first job?
My first job, I started working at the age of 15. So my first job was I was a cashier at a grocery store in Alabama.
Wow, that's a lot for a 15-year-old.
It was close to home, so it was a good first, I would say.
Got it. So it sounds like you didn't really pick the industry; it kind of picked itself for you. And now, how long ago did you start your record label?
So initially, I started Soul My Worthy in 2017.
Right.
It was something completely different, though. It was always surrounding music, and it was always surrounding women empowerment. But at that time, I didn't have the root of what the problem was, and how I could solve it. And so it really was just to uplift, women and to be a support, because I grew up in music, and I noticed that a lot of women don't feel so empowered to do their music or have the means to do their music.
Now, is that an expensive business to start, or did you just start doing it and didn't really have to raise any money?
It is an expensive business. That's why it started off different. And so, right now, it being an indie record label, it is definitely expensive. Again, it started off as kind of, us coming together to just talk and support each other. But right now, where we are is definitely an expensive business. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but we are looking, we have a campaign going right now, where we are, crowdfunding, so that, Soul My Worthy has the means to really, uplift and support, the women singer-songwriters that we want to support.
Well, just because I'm not at all familiar with that business model, what is so expensive about running a business label, a record label? And I apologize for my ignorance, I just don't know.
Oh yeah, so one of the main expenses of having an indie record label is producing the music, right? So when you bring on an artist, our goal is to help that artist from beginning to launching their career. And so as a singer-songwriter, one, you have to develop your skill, which takes money, right? You have to pay people to continue to develop your skill. You have to go into the studio. You're recording. Those fees cost, it can cost up to, $300 to $400 an hour to have an engineer in there, or using that studio, using that equipment, to produce the music. So you have mixing, mastering, recording. It's a lot of different, aspects. You also, you're paying to, have managers and, to put the music out there, performances. I mean, it's a lot of different moving parts. And so one artist starts to have a very successful album produced for them starts at $10,000. Of course, you can, get something out there for less than that, but we're trying to produce quality for our singer-songwriters, and so yes, it definitely takes having that revenue.
So how did you go out and raise money to start this? I mean, it sounds expensive. You just told us why. Where did you come up with all the money to get that going?
So in February 2022, Soul My Worthy got its foundation, what we're actually going to be in. Now we have launched the record label, because again, it was something else. So right now we're crowdfunding on a wonderful platform called iFund Women that support women and especially minority business owners to crowdfund to raise the money. Right now we're looking to raise $125,000 so that we can go ahead and release a female compilation album and to start signing our artists. So we're jumping in, and we definitely are, hoping to find that support to do it, because venture capital and all of that hasn't been so favorable to me.
Can you tell us the name of the crowdfunding platform in case any of our listeners want to go support you?
Yeah, so it is called, the platform is iFund Women, but the easiest way to find it would be to go to our website at www.soulmyworthy.com. It's right there on the front of the page. Click, and then you're there. And it's not just, we're not just asking for money. You're also able to get rewards. So, anyone who supports us, of course, you can give a monetary donation, but there's also rewards, where we'll send you merch, or you're able to come to our events. Be a part of the process and the signing the artists, different things like that. So there's a lot of different ways to, be involved if any of you support, Soul My Worthy's mission.
And I probably should have asked you this earlier, and I didn't. Where is your business located? What city are you in now?
So I'm in Georgia, but we are completely digital. You know, right now we're looking to establish our physical location in Georgia, but we started in New Jersey and New York. So we built a lot of relationships there. You know, we have a place where artists can kind of sign up and we will pitch them to perform, you know, so it is in Georgia and New York, but we're completely digital. A lot of things like with recording and having engineers and people working with you for music has gone you know, virtual since the pandemic. So yeah.
Okay. So you started in 2017 and then you pivoted earlier this year. How many employees do you have now?
So right now it's a total of 7. We have total of 7. We work a lot with contractors, and we have all our women, amazing women that have been such a integral part of helping me, you know, propel this company forward.
Wow. So 7 employees, that's awesome. Good for you. So how long did it take, and maybe you're not there yet, but how long did it take before you guys were profitable?
So we aren't there yet in the sense of, you know, when I hear people talking about profitable, they're thinking, you know, up to 25,000 plus. But again, we haven't, I think the thing about music what people don't understand, and I think that's also what makes it, not so favorable to some is that, you know, having an indie record label, it's a waiting game, right? We don't really get our revenue streams or anything coming in until we put out music. But to put out music, you know, we need that support to do that, right? Especially in the way I have it set up. We also have a platform where we offer coaching. So we have had, you know, profits there. But again, we really just launched February. So it's a slow game. But I know once we, you know, like that's why the campaign is out there and everything, have the backing that we need, it won't be a problem to be a profitable business. You know, the music industry is a $1 billion industry, right? And, you know, for us, it's not all about the money anyway, but, you know, it's definitely profits here.
Got it. So is this a business that you'd be interested in selling? I mean, do record labels get bought and sold all the time? And there's a lot of industries and companies just trade like trading. Is this one of them, or do you want to do this kind of for the rest of your career?
Right now, this isn't one I would want to sell. Definitely would be a company that you could sell. I mean, record labels, they can sell or whatever. But this is my baby, you know. I started it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. So I definitely see myself, here for the long run. Got
it. So dealing with artists, dealing with this, that, and the other, there's got to be some pretty funny stuff that happens. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you in running your company?
Funny? Let's see. I don't know about funny, but I'll say, something that I found to be, I don't know, interesting and really rewarding was that we had, an event that we were able to host for, AAPI, Asian American Heritage Month. And so, it was really, really cool because we had all women, performers up there, and we had this group, Buffalo. They're the premier all-women black-led percussion ensemble, and it was just so cool. They had, you know, their, ensemble, they had their outfits on, and they were jamming out at this, event. And I just think it wowed everyone because, you know, this event, the Glow Community Center, is mostly Asian, and it was something that they never experienced before. So it was really cool to open them up to another culture, and they were really, you know, jamming out. So I thought that was amazing.
What's in your entrepreneurial journey? Is there something that's just been a giant surprise to you that you didn't count on at all, and now it's here?
Something that was a giant surprise. Well, I mean, to be honest, starting the business, you know, as a black woman, you know, I guess I didn't realize the struggles I think I would have faced as an entrepreneur. To be honest, when I started the business, I'm thinking, wow, you know, obviously I'm a disciplined person. I've been in, you know, discipline. My mom was in the military, all of that. So I know discipline. I know hard work. when I started the business, I was thinking, wow, this is something I love to do. It's going to be awesome. It's, helping women and everything. But then you kind of get slapped in the face with the reality of what it actually takes to be an entrepreneur. So I'm like wearing marketing hat, I'm wearing, operations, business leadership, all those things. And so I think that was a surprise, like how many hats that I would have to wear and how, not establishing, I would say, the team before starting the business myself, that took me by surprise, I would say.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. So when you first started, which is not that long ago, actually, how did you start getting the word out? Is it any paid advertising? Is it just word of mouth, or you do flyers or social media? How do you get the word out?
Yeah, so initially it was social media and having in-person events and kind of, sending out email newsletters and asking people to sign up, word of mouth. Definitely I have a large friend group and, church family. So I was just getting the word out there. Recently, we have started doing paid ads. We've had more in-person events after the pandemic where, we were able to perform and, I'm a singer as well. So I also, share my talent to kind of, promote and get the word out there. So, those are the main ways, that we are getting the word out there and doing things like, this campaign. I think it really will, help put what we're doing, to the forefront.
Got it. So this is a really interesting industry to ask this question, which we ask everybody. So in the business that you're in, what do you think is more important for you, ambition or talent?
That's an interesting question. I feel like, this is something I feel like I was taught early on that talent isn't enough. So for me to answer that question, I think what means more success is, there's no, I guess, black or white answer, but I think ambition, because if you are ambitious, then everything else falls in line. Obviously there can't be an absence of talent. You know what I mean? There has to be something there that you feel talented about and that you develop your skill in. But I do think having the ambition to not give up and to keep going and to really pivot and change is needed in this industry for sure.
So what specific challenges have you faced as a minority entrepreneur that others might not face?
I would say discrimination, I would say discrimination one, and also having to always prove my expertise. I think when I walk into the room, they see me, they don't necessarily see my, degree or whatever. They're stereotypes, unfortunately, just as a black woman. So I think just having someone not believe in you because of the color of your skin, one. And I would say lack of resources. There are, people who have, certain resources or, might be pitched or given the opportunity, just because of, who they know or who they need and all those things. So I think as a minority, entrepreneur, especially as a woman as well, I've faced a lot of, right when I'm kind of talking about my business, telling, kind of explaining what I'm doing, there's this lack of, you don't necessarily have the knowledge to do this, or condescending comments about, make sure you spend the money wisely or don't go shopping with it all. Things like that, or, why is there a hyphen in the name? I think questions like that is, interesting because it's, I think questions that are asked because there's already this, dialogue in their mind that, there's a lack of know-how or capability. So I think that's been, definitely a struggle. And, if I go on and on about it, the last thing I would say is getting capital and raising funds, especially, as you may know, women, only get about, 2% of the venture capital pool. I think it's definitely, building and growing, but it's definitely, no easy feat, but I'm up for the challenge.
Do you think that you face more obstacles because you're black or because you're a woman?
I think both. I think it's whoever I'm talking to. I think it's whoever I'm facing, but I think there's societal issues as just a woman, and there's also a lot of stereotypes due to being black. I mean, there's a lot of statistics that show that black-owned businesses aren't so readily supported.
Got it. If you were giving advice to a new entrepreneur right now, what piece of advice would you give somebody who's thinking about starting their own company?
I would say if you're thinking about starting a company, I would say make sure to think about all the details and really have a plan. Jumping in is always good, but having a plan so you don't have to necessarily pivot. And while you are pursuing that entrepreneurship, make sure to know who you are or start learning who you are so that you can be true to yourself. Because there's going to be a lot of times where people are telling you that you can't do something. So knowing who you are, having a support system around you to help to remind you of who you are and your capabilities and your diligence is definitely going to help, keep the business going, because it's not an easy, ordeal to have a business. It definitely takes perseverance. It definitely takes hard work. And so that's what I would say. And the last thing I would advise is to have healthy boundaries. Know when you need to rest, know when you need to say no, and know when you need to add people to your team so that you don't burn yourself out. Because one business that was a love or something that you care about could easily become a burden, and you don't want that.
Got it. So that's great advice, and I'm sure everybody appreciates it. So again, I know you said it once, but it sounds like if any of our listeners want to whether to support your crowdfunding campaign or look at your artists or get in touch with you anyway, can you kind of give them the website address again?
Yes, of course. It's www.soamiworthy.com. So there we have all the information about, our mission, what we're doing. We also have the link for the crowdfunding campaign. You can also see what we're going to be doing. We're also on, all the major social media platforms, Instagram at So Am I Worthy, Facebook as well as So Am I Worthy. We're also on LinkedIn. And so, yeah. And we always are looking for people to reach out if they have any questions, and they can do that by sending an email to info@soamiworthy.com. So we'd love to connect, and we would love to hear from you.
Perfect. Well, listen, thank you very much, and thanks for sharing your story. I know it's an inspiration to our listeners because it's an inspiration to me, and we do appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, and good luck, and we will check in with you all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for listening. We hope you were informed and inspired. Now we would like to ask a favor of you. If you could please leave us a review on the podcast platform and follow us, that would be great. And please share us with your network and help support minority business. Thank you.